Hello, you lovely people. In this video, I will give you guys the complete overview of Iansan's kit, her constellations, and her damage multipliers. So without any poopbar.gg, let's get right into the video. Her normal attack performs up to 3 consecutive spear strikes, and her charged attack consumes a certain amount of stamina to launch forward, dealing damage to opponents along the way. Her plunging attack plunges from midair to strike the ground below, damaging opponents along the path and dealing area of effect damage upon impact. Her Night Soul state is called Swift Stormflight, while in the Night Cell's Blessing state, Iansan's charged attack transformed into the formidable Swift Stormflight, consuming a certain amount of stamina to stomp fiercely down and deal Night Cell-aligned area of effect electro damage. At level 9, her normal attacks scale something like this. Her first hit deals 86.3% damage. Second hit deals 78.5% damage. Third hit deals 118.2% damage. Her charged attacks deals 184.2% damage. And during her Night Soul state, the Swift Stormflight damage a total of 154.6% with the cost of 25 stamina. Her plunge attack has a total of 117.4% damage, whereas her low plunge damage is 234.8%, and high plunge damage is 293.3%. Now, let's take a look at her elemental skill. During her elemental skill, Iansan charges forward a certain distance, dealing Night Cell-aligned electro damage to all opponents in her path. After this is done, using a normal attack will trigger one Swift Stormflight Stomp that will not consume stamina. After this skill is used, Iansan will regain Night Soul points up to her maximum and enter the Night Cell's Blessing state. During her Night Soul blessings, she continuously consumes Night Soul points. If she runs out or uses the skill again, her Night Cell's Blessing state will end. Iansan's Night Cell's Blessing state increases her movement speed and jumping power. Holding sprint will switch Iansan to Thunderbolt Rush mode, greatly increasing her movement speed and jumping power temporarily. In this mode, she can make flying leaps using terrain, or consume additional Night Soul points to move on water or liquid phlogiston while being immune to damage from the latter. At level 9, her elemental skill scales something like this. At level 9, her elemental skill deals 486.88002% damage. And her quick Swift Stormflight stays up for 5 seconds, while her Night Soul point limit at 54 points with a cooldown of 16 seconds. Now, let's talk about her Elemental Burst. When you use her Elemental Burst, she deals Night Cell-aligned area of effect electro damage to the opponents. She then whips out her limited edition Kinetic Energy Scale. When this skill is used, Iansan gains 15 Night Soul points and enters the Night Cell's Blessing state. When the Kinetic Energy Scale leaves the field, Iansan's Night Cell's Blessing state also end. To give you guys more context about the Kinetic Energy Scale, the Kinetic Energy Scale follows the character around, boosting the attack of your current active party member in different ways based on Iansan's Night Soul points. If Iansan has less than 42 Night Soul points, the attack bonus will be based on her Night Soul points and attack. And if Iansan has at least 42 Night Soul points, the attack bonus will be based on her attack. Additionally, the scale will log the distance your currently active character, excluding Iansan, has moved so long as it is active, restoring Night Soul points to Iansan every second based on the distance moved in the previous second. The scale will disappear once her Night Cell's Blessing state ends. It will disappear 1 second after you cease being in a state of combat. But while it is active, Iansan's Night Cell's Blessing state will not end, even if she is not on the field. At level 9, her Elemental Burst scales something like this. Her Elemental Burst deals 731.6% damage, with a high attack conversion rate of 27% attack, and low attack conversion rate of 0.5% attack per Night Soul point, with maximum attack bonus of 650. During the non-combat state, it stays for 1 second, and during the combat state, it stays up for 12 seconds with a cooldown of 18 seconds and 70 energy cost. Now, let's take a look at her passive skills. Her first passive skill trigger after Swift Stormflight hits opponents, and she gained the precise movement effect for 15 seconds. During this time, her attack is increased by 20%, and whenever she regains Night Soul points through the kinetic energy scale in her elemental burst, she will gain 1 extra Night Soul point. Additionally, when your current active party member consumes or restores Night Soul points, the extra Night Soul points she gains the next time from the scale will be increased to 4. This effect can occur once every 2.8 seconds. Her second passive skill triggers when a nearby party member triggers a Night Soul burst, and she obtains the warming up effect for 10 seconds. During this time, when Iansan restores at least 1 Night Soul point, she will also heal your current active character for 60% of her attack. And this effect can be triggered once every 2.8 seconds. With her third passive skill after Night Soul points have been fully depleted and Iansan is on the field, she will switch to using Phlogiston to maintain her Night Sowl's blessing. While in an area with Phlogiston mechanics within Natlan, Iansan can be used. When the current active character is sprinting or in movement modes caused by certain talents, or at a certain height in the air, switching to Iansan will trigger her to enter the Night Sowl's blessing state and obtain 25 Night Soul points. Night Soul transmission can be triggered once every 10 seconds by your own party. And with her fourth passive skill, while Iansan in an area with Phlogiston mechanics within Natlan, she regains 10 Phlogiston when Phlogiston levels drop below 50%. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds. Now, let's discuss her Constellations. With her C1 when Iansan is in combat and is in the Night Sowl's blessing state, she will restore 15 elemental energy for every 6 Night Soul points she consumes. This effect can trigger once every 18 seconds. With her C2, when using the elemental burst, Iansan will also gain the precise movement effect from her passive talent, Enhanced Resistance Training, for 15 seconds. Additionally, if Iansan is off-field while precise movement is active, she will also increase your current active character's attack by 30%. But you must first unlock the passive talent's Enhanced Resistance Training to access the above effect. Her C3 and C5 increase the level of her elemental skill and elemental burst up to level 15. With her C4, when the kinetic energy scale is present, Iansan will gain 2 stacks of surging force after your current active character, excluding herself, uses their elemental burst. This lasts until the scale leaves the field, and surging force can be gained once per scale summoning. And whenever Iansan restores Night Soul points via the scale, she will consume 1 surging force stack and restore 4 additional Night Soul points. Additionally, if her Night Soul restoration overflows, Iansan will gain 50% of the overflow the next time she restores Night Soul points via the scale. Her C6 increases the kinetic energy scale's duration by 3 seconds. Additionally, when Iansan triggers Night Soul point restoration, if there is any overflow, she gains the Extreme Force effect, which increases the damage dealt by your current active character by 25% for 3 seconds. And that's it. That's everything you need to know about Iansan's full kit. Like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on the next video about all the new changes coming in version 5.5.